bitches? It's another episode of the I Can Do This All Day podcast. I'm Dan, the Part-Time Avenger. That's Mark, the Resident Jedi.
Ho, ho, ho there. Today we're here to talk about a movie that includes many, many Marvel and DC and other franchise participants, but has nothing tangentially or directly to do with the MCU, Star Wars, or DC. We're here to talk about Red One.
Red One. I want to say this movie got shit on last year when it came out.
Did it?
And I went to go, just to give a little bit of origin about this, I went to go see this in theaters with my family.
You fancy.
And this might be telling. I don't know why we're waiting a year to do this. I actually know why we're waiting to do this, because we recorded other shit that we wanted to put out last December. But that's kind of where we're at. Did you have any expectations about this movie going into it? Do you remember this coming out last year? What are your thoughts? Walk me through it.
I remember this coming out. I remember us talking about like, oh, it's a Chris Evans movie. We should do this. But we had already basically banked up what we needed to for episodes when this came out, because it came out so close to Christmas. And not to shit on the illusion, but we don't record the day it comes out. Like, you know, we try and give ourselves time with our family and yada yada. So we record a little bit in advance, not too far in advance, but because, you know, we're procrastinators, but a little bit in advance. And yeah, I saw it coming out. I thought it'd be, you know, kind of fun. I was like, why is there a skinny Santa? But either way, I jumped at this because it just looked fun. I mean, when I really looked at it, I kind of expected like Rampage or Black Adam, perhaps Jungle Cruise. That was my expectation. I figured, you know, with Evans in it, it's got to be a little bit better, but I hadn't watched it up until this viewing, and I did not get what I expected.
Okay, well, we'll dive into that. Did you watch it by yourself? Did you watch it with the family?
I've been trying to find time for me and my wife to sit down and watch this, and it just didn't happen this week. I mean, a lot of holiday prep stuff and all that. So I just watched it myself today, prior to leading up to the day. And it was not something that I was able to watch like just casually off to the side. Like, I was pretty locked in on this movie.
Okay. All right. So this is the second time I've watched this movie. Like I said, I watched it in theaters last year when it came out, and I remember watching it. I'm not going to say if I had a good time with it or not. I didn't remember the plot besides the fact that Santa Claus gets kidnapped. So, speaking of the plot, Mark, why don't you tell the fans what your version of the plot is?
Oh man.
Once again, an unplanned question, a question that's never asked in any of these episodes.
I'm trying to think of the right word. I would describe this movie as, essentially it's The Year Without a Santa Claus, but with The Rock.
What's The Year Without a Santa Claus?
How dare you? It's a movie where everybody's shitting on Santa and he almost quits, and he gets sick and doesn't want to be Christmassy. It's another.
When the fuck was this?
We almost missed Santa.
Vince Vaughn in it?
What? No, he's
Vince
not.
Vaughn
It's too old.
It's not Fred Claus.
But the movie was featured in your favorite Batman movie with George Clooney and Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he's Mr. White Christmas, he's Mr. Snow.
God.
You know, I would say that this movie is either The Year Without a Santa Claus or it's the Santa Claus 3, where Jack Frost takes over as Santa, where Martin Short takes over as Santa, I believe.
Oh, he was in. That was a Santa Claus 3. I thought he was just part of the TV show.
No. It was the Santa Claus 3. I either way, Tale as old as time. Somebody kidnaps Santa and tries to take over the world and be mean to the children. Tale as old as
Interesting.
time. Song as old as.
So in the Disney Plus TV show, the Santa Claus, the Tim Allen continuation of everything, Jack Frost is in that, and he plays an asshole in that. So I was like, wow, he plays an asshole in like consecutive things. So he was in the Santa Claus 3, and he's in the TV show. Is what you're telling me?
I did not watch the Tim Allen Santa Clauses. Uh,
Hey, what the fuck? What Santa Claus 3? Who the fuck were the other two?
there's three movies and one TV show.
Right, no, no, no. So it is part of the Tim Allen thing. That's what I'm saying, though.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I was like. Okay, that doesn't. Okay, if that's the case, then the TV show is shit because they didn't need to continue on with fucking Jack Frost and that. So,
Oh, the who played Jack? I'm looking this up right
Martin
now.
Short. Martin Short.
Okay, so Martin Short returned. I think it was more just bring back everybody. Who else can we bring back?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I didn't watch any of those Santa Claus movies, so fuck it. Who cares?
Oh, my
Merry
kid loves it.
Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas.
Ho ho ho!
Why is it it's always like either a kids movie or like a special holiday that brings out the vulgarity in me? Like I just don't give a fuck about kids movies or like these family movies
I
or
think it
anything like
really
that.
means that you need to really dig in to your pent up aggression around the holiday season. It may be some unfulfilled childhood needs and some grudges about your slinky that you straightened
I
as a
just
child.
I just don't care. I don't care. With Tim Allen, I was never flocking to the movie theaters like, oh, I got to see that new Tim Allen joint. Like, get the fuck out of here. Tim Allen, fuck that shit. Home Improvement, overrated. Fuck it, I don't care. Best thing about those shows were Debbie Dunning, Pamela Anderson, and Richard Karn. That's it. Everything else sucked. No, not for me. But it's and the neighbor was it Wilson? Was it
It was
Wilson the
Wilson.
neighbor?
It was
Okay, all
Wilson.
right. R.I.P. But yeah, so back to Red One. I think it's no secret to all of those who listen, or at least listen to 2 episodes from us, because I'm pretty sure we talk about Chris Evans or The Rock in every episode, maybe. But yeah, we're fans. We're fans. We enjoy it. I am not a Dwayne The Rock Johnson hater, even though everyone thinks he is just trying to take over Hollywood and he's an asshole. But nah, fuck it. I'm a fan. Evans, I've heard some things about Evans that people think he's a piece of shit, but I don't care. Like I like his movies for the most part. For the most part, we'll see if that's going to be the case for this one. But this is a stacked cast, super stacked cast. You got The Rock, you've got Evans, Lucy Liu is in this movie, looking great. J.K. Simmons once again looking great. I'm pretty sure whatever he was or why ever he was working out for like to get ripped is Commissioner Gordon. He just kept those muscles on for Omni Man and Santa Claus. Like that. He's just fucking amazing. One of the best actors out there, and I enjoy pretty much every movie he is in. So maybe we should have a J.K. Simmons appreciation episode. But going down the list, you got Bonnie Hunt as Mrs. Claus, Tormund from Game of Thrones in there as Krampus. For any of those Sabrina TV show reboot fans, Kiernan Shipka was in this. So a ton of people, and also comedian Nick Kroll. So we'll talk about him a little bit later. But what did you think about this cast?
I didn't look at the cast before I watched the movie, because why? I'm going to watch it anyway. It's part of my 2025 effort to go in with low expectations. Um,
Yeah.
it served me well, and it just was hit after hit after hit. And when I saw Nick Kroll, I was very excited because I am a Nick Kroll supporter. For any of you that watched The League for all those years, you know that Ruxin be bringing it. Um, so yeah, I think that the cast in general was solid, and any movie that opens with like a little heisty bit, a la like the Bond movies that all have that thing at the beginning where they just da 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 and they get through the thing. When you do that with Evans at the front end of it, I was just like, oh, now I'm gonna love this movie. Let's go.
Well, it wasn't the opening. The opening was going back in time a little bit and showing um, the Jack character as a little fat boy.
Yeah, Fat
Um,
Evans. Yeah, I know, but then you
it's
saw him as a grown up and him just, turning into a scoundrel and
yeah,
a kingsman, if you will. It was pretty great.
Evans pulled a Henry Cavill on this. So Henry Cavill, for all those who don't know, he used to get teased and made fun of as he was younger. They used to call him Fat Cavill. So apparently, it just kind of took a page out of that. So Captain America took a page out of Superman's book and just decided to do that. But something that kind of threw me off a little bit was some of the names in the opening credits. So I don't know if you saw this or really thought anything of it, but Chris Morgan, does that name sound familiar at all? And does it mean anything to you?
Chris Morgan.
It came up on the credits, Chris Morgan Productions. That's what shocked me. So anyone who is not familiar with Chris
He's the
Morgan
guy who
was
did
the
all the
writer,
good, the Fast and the
the
Furious, right?
writer in a lot of the Fast and Furious movies. And some may say he's a writing genius because he could just like write in some simple throwaway line that explains as to why Ludacris is really great with tech, and like it's amazing. It's amazingly ridiculous as to how he can write himself out of plot holes and simple things. And I think a lot of people could probably take some notes and a page out of his book just to make their movies better, just because there's a lot of plot holes now where either people go in too deep, where Chris Morgan's just like, throw in a line of dialogue, fixes everything right up. Right up. It's just ridiculous. And
See,
if
Chris
you
Morgan's
watch,
early movies were good though.
I'm not saying they were bad. I enjoy those Fast and Furious movies very, very much. So
I would
I
argue
saw that.
I would argue he wrote the best Fast and the Furious movie.
I mean, yeah, all of them are the best.
Tokyo Drift.
And he wrote the next one, which was arguably the best one after that.
And the
And then he
next
wrote
one.
Fast Five, which was
Another one.
the best one out of
Another
all of them.
one.
But that shocked me. I was like, holy shit, Chris Morgan, good for you, taking all that money from the Fast and Furious franchise and starting your own production company. So good for him. And then you saw the director, Jake Kasdan, part of, I wouldn't say necessarily Hollywood royalty, but definitely there's some genealogy there with Lawrence Kasdan. So yeah, interesting names that pop up in the credits right off the bat. So I thought that was very interesting, and I was like, I didn't notice that the first time I watched the movie. I was just so focused in on Evans and what was happening with that character that I didn't pay attention to the credits. So this time around, got a chance to see that, saw some names that I knew. Chris Morgan, fan of the podcast. Chris, come on anytime. You're always welcome. And Jake, same thing. But yeah, so interesting. So what did you think as you got a chance to see his character, Chris Evans's character, going into that little heist thing? What did you think this movie was going to be about? Because it was like a heist right at the beginning.
I just thought that they were giving backstory to the character. You knew Santa was involved at some point, and that the Rock was going to fumble the ball at some point, and it was going to be actiony. But the the thing that struck me the most is normally normally in almost every single movie with Dwayne Johnson, that's an action movie that's a little tongue in cheek. It's super over the top, like beyond corny funny and just like kind of cringy funny at times. That's why I mentioned Rampage and Black Adam. Um, but I just like, as this came together and they built their chemistry, and The Rock like was semi serious as a really action star, kind of intimidating force. I was like, this might be his best action movie performance of all time. And I love that that partnered with Evans using the accent in there a little bit, not being all Captain America or Johnny Stormy. All of that was just all positives for me.
So I had a problem with the accents. I know that's how Chris Evans talks normally, and he tries to not play that accent up that much. but I had a problem with it because there was some inconsistency with the accent from the kid. There was no accent with him as a kid. So the character as a kid, I should say. So that's where I'm like, I don't know if I buy that or if I approve of that method of trying to do that. But I don't know. Maybe that's just me nitpicking it.
Maybe the
So
kid was just a really shitty actor who couldn't do the accent.
I mean, yeah, maybe we have a tendency to talk shit about child actors. I'm not talking shit about that, but that's you. But yeah, that's just an inconsistency that bothers me. So obviously, we've watched a lot of movies. We've watched a lot of movies and turned a blind eye to stuff and just had a good time. But sometimes you have to nitpick a little bit, and that was my thing. But that was kind of strike one for me. Uh, his character, a prick as a kid, a prick as an adult. And yeah, when stealing the candy from the baby, they do a really good job of not making him likable right off the bat. And it's really strong. You know, he's like I assume he's an alcoholic, either that or he just has no responsibilities whatsoever. He just gets drunk and passes out in a bathtub with pizza and liquor bottles everywhere. Like I feel like they went hard in making him believable that he's on the naughty list. You know what I mean? Like, what were your thoughts on how extreme that was, or did you feel that it was extreme that they were trying to make him that much of a bad kid or bad guy?
I didn't mind it. The sleeping in the bathtub thing threw me off a little bit, but then I realized he just didn't want his suit to wrinkle.
Guess, yeah, maybe that's your explanation for it. I'm not buying it. I don't know anyone who's passed out in a bathtub, but then again, I've never really, even if I did know someone, I think I'd probably just no longer associate myself with them. But I guess people can have fun sometimes. Who knows? Pop quiz. Weirdest place you've ever passed out? Go.
Upstairs VIP of a club downtown in
Okay.
Chicago.
Similar. I've got two similar ones. So, or actually, one similar one completely different. I think I talked about it on the podcast before, but I was at a South Side Chicago bar called McDuffie's, no longer around anymore, but I don't know if you ever frequented there. Hey, all you Chicagoland people, if you ever went there, comment, please. If you were part of the McDuffie's crew in the early 2000s, please let me know. I'm sure you saw me there, but that was one place. Fell asleep in the balcony, just watching everyone dancing and just like slumped over. And then another time I fell asleep on the shitter while a friend of mine was waiting outside in her car to drive me to a place. So I was like, yeah, just happens sometimes. But yeah, just figured I'd throw in some nice little personal trivia in there. But where else are you thinking about for this movie? You get a chance to see Santa in a mall. I thought that was kind of surprising. I totally forgot that they had the real Santa in a mall with his security detail and everything. So I thought that was kind of an interesting take. Um, Opinions on that at all?
I mean, as somebody who has done jobs where you get to interact with the people and get the positive vibes from them, and then leaving away from that, you miss it. And sometimes you need the to get to the people that you're helping and the people that find joy in it. So I love it. I love that that's what Santa does to recharge, and then he just goes and fucking blows up his pecs.
Yeah, literally, it kind of goes into action fairly quick. Just because you got the little scene with Evans right there where he throws the coffee cup and starts the fire and everything. But what are you thinking about like the setup of you get back to the North Pole? I thought that was kind of cool. You got a chance to see a little bit more of the lore and some really cool uh, characters in the security detail. It's always cool when you see a polar bear, a talking polar bear with an Hispanic name. It's hilarious to me. Like I feel like okay, yeah, they're really taking some creative liberties. I'm sure Chris Morgan had something to do with that because that just seems like a Chris Morgan thing. Like, hey, why don't you go ahead and call that polar bear just an ethnic name? It'll be fun. It makes sense in the North Pole, right? I don't know. Thoughts?
I think that there's many other things you'd question about this, right? Like, did the reindeer go to hyperspace speed? Like,
Christmas magic, man. Come
no,
on.
but they went from moving at the speed of jet to moving at I don't know what. When they just started to glow a little bit, as long as Santa said so. Um,
Yeah. What was the word
which
that I don't even know what he
I
said.
couldn't even decipher it. Um, he just yelled something. It was dash away all, right? That's what they tell us. That's what the
Yeah.
poems say. That's what the laureates have written. But as the different things in this movie that were just not talked about or like, yeah, that's normal. Like The Rock doing Ant-Man shit. Like, I'm gonna go really
Yeah.
mini, and then I'm gonna go really big, and then I'm gonna go mini, and I'm gonna go big. And his little like normalizer ray or whatever it was to turn Hot Wheels into real things.
I love that stuff, dude. Like that's
That
so
was it was
cool.
cool.
So it's fun. It's fun. Like that's one of the things that I liked about this. And you kind of have the comparison to almost like a buddy cop film. You got the one guy that's rough around the edges, and the other one that's straight laced, but like a powerhouse and everything. I
Well,
like those types of movies.
hang
So
on a minute.
I
You know why you like this movie, right? Because
yeah, of
it's
course.
kind of Lethal Weapon as well.
Yeah, and that's why it's probably a better Christmas movie than Die Hard. So that's the
Uh,
thing. Like you have to have that polarity of things. So good cop, bad cop, buddy cops, anything. Anytime there's two cops, it's better. It's always better when there's two
there's two
cops.
cops in Die Hard.
Yeah, but one of them's outside of the action. Doesn't work.
He's got
Doesn't
Twinkies,
work.
bro.
They got to be working together, not just talking on a walkie-talkie. No disrespect, Reginald Vel Johnson, Carl Winslow, but uh, no disrespect to Die Hard. I enjoy Die Hard. I just enjoy that dynamic in a buddy cop movie because it's fun. You can play off of each other. One can be serious, one could be fucking crazy and loopy, one could be an asshole, one could be really funny. Like, or it's a big combination of both. What I like about that is the fact that they had other characters in the movie to kind of play off of, and you don't get too sick of Riggs and Murtaugh Christmas versions. You know what I mean? Like that's what I like
Yeah.
about it. And
I
so
I'm gonna say that the weight room heart to heart might have been some of Dwayne Johnson's best dramatic acting ever. Outside of the
I
smashing machine, where he was, very deep, but of any other rock movie, like he played that that scene had so much depth. I was like, oh man, he cares. I don't think Hobbs ever cared. I don't think that any of the other people cared. It was really like, oh, it's a shame that The Rock's some of the best dramatic work The Rock's done is in this Christmas movie.
I think the reason why that works so well is because it's 100% true. Like the Christmas spirit has become so jaded over the years. It's become so commercialized. It's become so fake, so phony. And this is coming from a dude who did not really celebrate Christmas all that much, at least, going crazy with everything. I did celebrate Christmas, but not like what I do now with my kids and my wife. My wife, awesome. She makes holidays fun. So that's where I get a chance to kind of uh, relive some of that, or at least enjoy a different Christmas dynamic. But that's 100% accurate as how he is portraying that and talking about it. It's because I also feel that way too. People treat each other like shit, not just during the holidays, but every day. It's so fun to talk shit about people now that that's what people do as normal conversation and normal pleasantries. It's gross. It really is. And we have become so accustomed to it that it's viewed as normal. And it's like, oh, you're not talking shit about that person? Well, you should, because we talk about people when they're down, up, all around. It doesn't matter, like that's kind of like what the dynamic is for people. Or at least that's what my thought is. There's so much sarcasm, there's so much cynicism that's out there. And so I thought that that was 100% real because I can relate to it. And I'm a little bit of a cynic myself, probably more so than I'm letting on, but at the same time, I also know that it's nice to feel good about people treating each other good. Like that's kind of where I'm coming from it. I don't know
Yeah.
if you're the same way. Do you feel like people like to treat each other like shit, and that's why I kind of
Well,
rang true with you?
a couple things, right, in reaction. One, you're not letting on. We all know you're a cynical bastard. But I agree. I think that we're in a world that has a lot of anger that's misdirected and, us versus them. I think that mentality is prevalent, and it does take away from the cheer if you let it. But you also have to look at these poor people, like not poor people, but these, unfortunate souls that feel this way, make that choice. Like they choose to feel that way and they choose to act that way for, a number of reasons. And, sometimes you just got to choose happiness. Speaking of choosing happiness, do you feel like The Rock's performance in that scene in the gym was because he felt so comfortable around the weights? And that's what really brought out his comfort and chops to really make it so good?
I think you're making fun of The Rock, but I think
No,
The
no, The
Rock's
Rock is The Rock. We he are who we thought they were. This isn't he's not Marlon Brando, right? He's not Tom Hanks. He's The Rock.
so I think for him though, he's a better actor than most people give him credit for. He just happens to pick roles where he wants to be like the stoic badass. That's all. I think that's really what it is. And,
I
and
can't
now
think of
he's
movies where he's stoic and not campy. Except
oh,
this.
get
I thought he did a great job in this movie.
he did, and I think he does a good job in a lot of other things. But I mean, if you go back to his work in WWE, his versatility, his comedic chops, his appearances on Saturday Night Live were always great. He did
I
take
just
some risks in the early 2000s and did like Southland Tales. That was a fucking weird ass movie where he played a strange character. If you haven't checked that out, I'm not saying to check it out, but it's worth a watch just to see how Dwayne Johnson acts in it because it's very different than anything else he's ever done.
Yeah, I just need to call out that I was talking about excellent dramatic work in film, and your first reference was professional wrestling. So
That's true. That's
I,
drama, dude. That's
it's
drama.
whatever.
There's
Drama with a
more
bump.
drama in professional wrestling than soap operas. That's true. That's 100% fact. More drama in professional wrestling. I'm
There
not
may
saying
be.
it's believable. I'm just saying it is. It's true. That's what it is.
So beyond the Rock's performance, which was great, I also think J.K. Simmons for the like, I don't want to call it short, but I mean he just J.K. Simmons the shit out of this. Like I can't think of a movie that I've seen J.K. Simmons in the last 10 years where I've been like, ugh, really mailed that in. It's like he found joy in playing Santa Claus.
I think so. I mean, it's a fun role. Who else besides Tim Allen and Kurt Russell? Like, who else could you picture as like a really good Santa Claus? Like
Sir Richard Attenborough in The Miracle on 34th Street. He was excellent. He's like the best movie Santa Claus ever.
nah.
Yes. And then he brought dinosaurs to Jurassic Park.
No, man. I think, and we talked about potentially doing the Christmas Chronicles, but I think Kurt Russell is the best Santa, the most fun Santa. Um, but J.K. Simmons, man, like he's such. I think we just like him, and I think we're gonna like any movie he's in by default. But it's not just because of that. It's because he's fucking good. He knows how to act. He can play it up for certain things, but also the way that Chris Morgan Productions has really kind of fleshed this thing out, or lack thereof, I should say. Um, it's meant to be a movie that is just fun, and you just kind of go with it. But J.K. Simmons, like, there's little intricacies, like that whole conditioning uh, workout with The Rock. Like, that makes sense. Santa needs to be in shape to do all those deliveries for all the gifts for all the children, right? Like, that made sense to me. I was like, whoa, I've never thought about that. I'm glad that they did that. That totally makes sense. It's not just, sprinkling some dust and he goes from 400 pounds to like 2 ounces and then he gets down your chimney. It's legitimate, like, cool stuff. And then you get to see it at the end. I'm jumping way ahead here, but you get to see him delivering the presents, which was sweet. I thought that was a nice touch because you're doing all this working out, Santa. You're really under the gun here. You need to make sure that you deliver all these toys. How are you going to do it? And they showed it. So that was awesome. It's
I
a nice way to kind of lean into it. And I bet some of the kids that were watching this movie were like, "Oh yeah, that's how Santa does it. That makes
I think
sense."
that's the
Yeah.
best representation we've seen of Santa executing, um, you know, in getting into and out of stuff. And they took all of the random, why does he have a shrink ray technology? And why do they make things from tiny to big? And it all made sense in the end.
Yeah.
It all
Yeah.
made sense that how does he fit all these presents in the sleigh? Oh, they're mini sized and then they get big and then they refuel halfway through. They just change out the logistics of that operation were better than UPS.
Fact that they addressed the logistics
And
was awesome.
entirely.
Yeah. You're making a non Christmas Santa fan a fan now
You
because,
are.
like, yes, okay, this is logical to me. Is it hocus pocus and bullshit? Sure. But at the same time, it makes me want to believe that. It makes, like, okay, yeah, if I were Santa, that's exactly what I would do. I'd have some Christmas magic and I have some like tech to make sure that I can get in and out without being detected. I love the fact that The Rock says that when he's trying to explain to Chris Evans's character as to how Santa does all this stuff. It's believable. And I'm just enjoying every second of it. All the explanations and the expansion of the lore, including Krampus as his brother, and then the Christmas witch, like another thing. Like, that's so cool that they put all that together in one movie. It's a shame that they really didn't get the results at the box office, and really just they kind of just got shitted on for the movie as a whole. So it's like, especially because we're fans of the three major actors that are in this movie. But it's a shame, but it is what it is. What can you do?
I mean, they even did the Headless Horseman.
Oh, there's so much
Yeah.
fun, so much lore, so much Christmas spirit. You got the reindeers in there as well, and it's just a lot of cool stuff that if you are a fan of Christmas, you'll enjoy it. If you're not, you'll appreciate the fact that they're kind of talking about all this stuff. You talked about, oh, speaking of, like, the expansion into the lore. I love the fact that they have like the different organizations that they're communicating with. Like, where's Nick? Where can we find him? And like the trolls are in there as well. Like, that was kind of a fun little
Yeah.
throwaway scene in there to where it's like, yeah, we have communication with trolls as well, and we're all in this together to make Christmas happen. And it's fun. It's a big organization of making sure Christmas happens, and I like that. Maybe that's just because
I
I'm a corporate guy. I don't know.
no, I think that the just touching on everything and making it not just, so many movies are just like, oh, it's just Santa. And this is like, no, it's all of them. And this is how they exist. And we just know it. And they're there. I didn't I really enjoyed that. And I was surprised too to find out that this movie lost money. Like
I think
that
it's
makes
because,
no
like,
sense to me.
The Rock isn't well liked anymore. Evans also is not well liked, and Evans picks some fucking dog shit movies too. So that doesn't help the box
But
office at all
this came
because he
out
always picks shitty
November
movies.
17th, 2024. Like
Sure.
Wicked, what else was it up against?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it's up against. You've got two actors who Evans has been hated on from his personal behavior on certain things and like the rumors of what he does and just like Dwayne the Rock Johnson's reputation in Hollywood isn't the best either. So it's kind of like you're fucked either way, right? Like that's I think unfortunately some of those outside factors play into it, and you don't have to like the people, but you can still respect the craft, and I respect the craft, and I like the people. So that's kind of like, eh, I'm a diehard either way, and I when 20 years from now, when we are on episode whatever 1000 or whatever it is,
Yeah.
it'd be very interesting to see what the public perception is of The Rock and Chris Evans at that point, or are our feelings going to change on those particular actors? We shall see. Time will tell. But you
Yeah.
mentioned Nick Kroll earlier. um, you liked his character in this?
So I just like Nick Kroll in basically everything. But I think that his character in this, like, they could have done that CGI, or they could have just had Nick Kroll do the voices and the facial work, and they did, and it was great. I think Nick Kroll's hilarious. Uh, uh, so I didn't mind it at all, and it was an in and out character. Like you didn't need him for longevity. It was just to be funny, right? As they mentioned the witch. So I don't like, I'm trying to, even if I try and think about like what actors could have done that. I mean, I just think it's cool that Nick Kroll did
Anyone?
it. Well, anyone, but done it, with a level of tongue in cheek and just funniness. Um, I don't know. I don't know. But
Did you have like if oh sorry, go ahead.
no, I wanted to go back to the box office piece of what it was up against to lose money. The Rock and Evans, are still Captain America and the Rock, but this movie got pummeled the week after it came. So it came out November 17th, and it was rated PG-13. So it wasn't a full kids movie. And the two movies that came out in the consecutive weeks after it were Wicked and Moana 2. So if you really think about, like, it just was a black hole of the two highest, ranking budgeted movies of the quarter, just absolutely dominating it. Like, just in a just horrendous way, right? And I don't think there were any other, Christmas movies that really came out last year,
Yeah,
that I can
I don't remember anything really great. I thought like, oh, cool, Red One with The Rock and Chris Evans. That's the only one that I thought was like, oh, this is sweet. Everything else, I was like, yeah, okay, I can wait.
There was
I
a
mean, besides,
Lionsgate release called
there
The
was
Best
one.
Christmas Pageant Ever, but that made like 40 grand.
Yeah, that was also yeah, that was an indie movie, right? Like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
I
But
remember seeing the previews for that. That looked pretty good. But I think you might be underestimating the juggernaut in Netflix of Hot Frosty. Hot Frosty.
Hot Frosty. But Hot
You
Frosty
should
wouldn't
check
have
out.
messed with, I guess that's where people got their Christmas fix instead of Red One.
Sure, that's exactly where they got it from. Instead of Red One, they are like, "Have you seen Hot Frosty lately?" It's fucking
Oh man.
stupid. Oh man, I can't remember if this is coming out before or after Hot Frosty, but either way, be on the lookout for Steve by the I Can
Oh,
Consolidate
and
podcast
the
that's
other
coming.
thing they did is they released this to streaming December 12th. So less than a month after it was in
Yeah,
theaters, because it was an Amazon movie.
that's typical for a lot of movies. Not every movie, but a lot of them for
But a
sure. They go
Christmas
right to streaming.
movie out of theaters before Christmas,
Sure.
you're losing a lot of, like, if I can watch it at home, I'm not going to take my kids to the theater to see it.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree. 100%. I think they kind of probably anticipated that a little bit, or at least
Yeah.
planned for it, because they have that ability to do that for the Amazon
Yeah,
stuff.
because they could
So
do that because Bezos goes to space. But let me
Yeah.
ask you a question then, because I think that this movie, um, has some, I don't want to call it too many similarities, but let's just talk about The Rock in a buddy kind of situation, in a buddy heisty action movie situation. And I want to compare two movies with you, right? I want to compare Red Notice to Red One. Who's the better buddy up for The Rock? Is it Reynolds or Evans?
I would say Reynolds. I would say
Really?
Reynolds for sure. Yeah.
Oh,
There's something about Evans, man, that like he can only play off of certain people.
Bucky? Like what?
And I don't know, man. It's like we've watched some dogs with him after the whole MCU Endgame stuff. So it's tough. Like even with like Ana de Armas in Ghosted, I liked him in that, but it it wasn't great. Like I said that I couldn't do that all day, but it's not great. The recent movie with him, Pedro Pascal, and Dakota Johnson also got shitted on. So I
I
think
haven't
there
seen
needs to
that.
be a certain dynamic between
Yeah.
Evans and someone else. Reynolds, you're getting Reynolds anyway, right? And he only plays like one character.
He's Bruce Willis. He
And
plays Ryan Reynolds.
yeah,
That's what he
that's
does.
that's it. And he's going to be sarcastic, he's going to be funny, but he does a great job of being serious because he's also funnier than Evans. I think that's where his acting range might not be great, like a Robert Redford or a Brad Pitt or something like that,
Mhm.
but because he's so funny, when he pulls the serious card, it's like, oh my gosh, wow, he's got skills. When Evans does it, Evans can be funny. It has to be written funny, but I don't think he's like naturally comedic, right? So that's where the difference is, I think. And when you see him do the serious side of things and you see him do the funny stuff, it's not as impressive. So that's where I think Reynolds and The Rock are going to be the better duo.
Fair
What
call.
about you? What do you think about that?
I'm Team Evans all the way. I think it's because the over sarcasm of, like, Reynolds in a buddy cop situation tends to go over the top a little bit more. Where I think Evans, it just works for me because I don't know, it just works for me. But it's a personal preference. They're both great, and I think they both, like, have done great movies and done Green Lantern. Um,
Who's
so
the better actor, Evans or Reynolds?
Evans.
Really?
Evans
Okay.
has done some really good serious stuff.
He has. He's done excellent serious stuff.
I can't think of anything and that's just off range, right? For me, range is what makes you a better, like, I feel like you can plug Evans into a lot of stuff. I don't know you can plug Ryan Reynolds into a lot of stuff, but I also think
Fair
that he
enough.
just does what he does and he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Evans is he probably is the better actor. I think Reynolds just has better success in his movies. Um, like going back to Safe House with him and Denzel, fucking
Sam.
amazing. Like that was really, really good, and his acting in it was also really good. So like that's just one of those things. Like he gets the better roles. Evans kind of picks shitty roles, or he gets put in shitty roles. So I don't know. But yeah, that's that's my thoughts on that. What about when we're talking about this movie? Anything that was Bonnie Hunt. Forgot to talk about Bonnie Hunt as Mrs. Claus. It was just really nice to see her. I enjoy her as an actress, and whenever she pops up in something, it's just kind of nice to see her. Just because there's some '80s nostalgia there, early '90s nostalgia, and it's like a good duo of J.K. Simmons, the actor that we like and respect, and then Bonnie Hunt. Like, oh gosh, Bonnie Hunt, love her. She's the best.
Do you
And
have
she
a
doesn't.
favorite Bonnie Hunt movie?
Ooh, I don't know if I. I don't know if I do. I don't know if I. I don't know. Do you?
Jumanji.
Yeah, yeah. That's I don't know. I don't know if there's anything that could beat that. I just always enjoy seeing her. Maybe that's just because of it's just the nostalgia thing for me. Like, I might not necessarily pick a um like a Christopher McDonald movie. I don't know. Besides like Happy Gilmore, I don't know if I have a favorite Christopher McDonald movie, but I know I'll always enjoy seeing him in anything. And like I couldn't name another Christopher McDonald movie besides Happy Gilmore, but I know I enjoyed him in other stuff. So who knows? I don't know.
I mean, did you just like her in Rain Man or the Beethoven movies? She was in two Beethoven movies. Must have been tough. Or Jerry Maguire. She was the judgmental sister there. I
Nah,
don't
no,
know, man.
I never watched Jerry Maguire
What?
from start to finish. Just wasn't my type of movie.
Oh
But
man.
yeah, either way, like but on the flip side of things, any weak characters or anyone that you were just not like, meh, didn't like it.
I can honestly say I don't think there was there's maybe the witch,
Yeah,
right?
that was my pick.
But
I thought it was complete miscast for her.
well, I
She just
don't
didn't
know that
fit.
I don't think I blame the actress for it. I
Right,
more
right.
blame the fact that like everyone else in this movie, every other character, even the fucking side guy that was a polar bear was very larger than life. The special effects in this movie were Jeff's kiss. But this lady, it's like they just pulled her off the floor at Comic Con and said, "You're this person. You got blue eyes." Woo! Like Krampus is bigger than life. Chris is bigger than life. Everybody's bigger than life. And this all powerful in her whatever form versus the final form is cool. But why are we hiding as sexy
Yeah,
witch?
yeah. I think she was just too young. Like it was just a miscast. And not to say that it's nice to be commenting on someone that like, oh, you look very youthful, but I just don't think it mixed well with the other cast members.
You
Like
know
you
who'd have
you
been
have
really
someone
funny?
older.
You know who'd have been really funny to be cast in this? Like hilarious and a running joke with the movie. Gal Gadot.
No, Santa, you can't take it's like fucking have you ever seen like the TikToks or I think it's on TikTok where like this one woman just does a Gal Gadot impression and it's spot on. She just like gets so confused about shit. It's so funny. Oh man. But yeah, I could see that. I was gonna say like a legit person that could have been there that would have done well. I don't think they could have afforded her. Is Charlize Theron would have been awesome in that. I would say even like Scarlett Johansson would have been awesome in that. I feel like she could have played like the menacing type of person too. So I don't know,
But
but
you
I think
wouldn't
it
have
just
had the Wonder Woman
miscast.
joke. The Wonder Woman
Yeah,
joke would have just tied it all
yeah,
together.
it is funny. It's funny that Captain America is talking about Wonder Woman too. So
That
it's
too. But
funny
then
stuff.
Evans would have seen her and been like, Wonder Woman?
She looks familiar.
Yeah. Just because it's obvious that this witch is just absorbing any form. So make it
Yeah.
that is just a popping joke right there. And it wouldn't have made the writing of the character better, but the one joke may have been worth it. And Gal Gadot using her accent may have been more menacing. I don't know.
It
Like
would have
you
did
got to give a
something.
villain an accent. That's just the rule. That's the
Yeah.
rule.
You should have gotten the Swede from Die Hard as
I mean,
as the
look at
Christmas witch.
every Chris Evans movie where the the villains have an accent and he vanquishes them. have been great.
So we're talking a lot about the movie. What's your favorite moment? If you could pick one favorite moment in this movie, which one was it? Doesn't it? And let me clarify. It's not a. Well, no, just forget it. No, I'm not even gonna
Yeah.
clarify. Just pick for your favorite moment.
I think that just there are a lot of them, right? And there's many to reference, but I think the one that set it off for me is the front end Evan's little heisty scene at the beginning sucked me into this and made me watch it as opposed
Mm,
to half watch it, right? Like
okay.
there are movies we've done for this podcast where halfway through I'm just like, okay, I can listen to the rest of this. How can I get this on 2x speed? But I legit was sucked in from that, and it just kind of kept going. The ending is nice as well, all that, but that scene really started me in. It said, hey, this is like not just a gloss over Christmas movie. This ain't Hallmark here, bitch. What about you?
Favorite scene was the Krampus scene where they're playing the little game,
Slap
and
fight?
then yeah. So the reasoning as to why is because Dwayne Johnson finally shows some humility in a movie. Like he even says, like he has the red mark on his face, like he just slapped the shit out of me. Like holy shit! When's the last time you had The Rock say anything remotely close of feeling pain or even close to defeat? Like never. So I
When
thought
you
that was
talk about
cool,
the
and the
box
fact
office for Black Adam,
but the Rock and Sock'em Robots was another cool thing. Like I loved that. Like, all right, cover us. Like, yep, all right, awesome. They fist bump and just beat the shit out of people. I always wanted Rock'em Sock'em Robots, and I never had them. So I just thought that was super sweet that they just made them Gigantor, and it was just kicking the shit out of Krampus's minions and everything. So that was fun. Yeah. So favorite scene in that.
you know what I'm sad
Now
about?
what's that?
I'm sad we never got to see what they were going to do with the Monopoly.
Oh yeah,
Like they picked up a bunch of cool, like they picked up a Slinky, they picked up Monopoly, they
they
got like a
did.
squeaky
Yeah,
hammer, and then Rock'em
the hammer.
Sock'em.
I feel like they did something with the hammer. No,
I don't
maybe
know
I'm
that they
missing.
really used it, but what are they going to use the Slinky for? What are they going to use the Monopoly for? Like you just
Yeah,
assume they're going to turn it into real money, but like they didn't. They shopped and did not use all of the implements.
yeah, fair enough. Well, do you say that Martha you? Because I'm going into Martha moments right now. Which one's
Oh.
yours?
Um, I think that the thing that marthaed me the most was just the of all of the known and popular Christmas villains, we got somebody I've never heard of before. Like you could have done so much, and you got Grilla, who I have you had you heard of Grilla before?
Nope. But I'm not a Christmas guy, so I just assumed that was like a legit thing. I think it's in the actual lore, though. Is it not?
It's a monstrous Icelandic Christmas witch.
Yeah, I mean it's yeah. That's eats children. I think something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I was fine with that. I was cool with that.
I guess.
It's not that I needed to. I mean, there's you have that's where Santa comes from is that type of mythology. So like, I'm not
But
mad at
why
that.
couldn't it be Belschnickel? That would have made this movie amazing. And you
Would
could
it
have
have been
got
better
Rand
if it
Wilson.
was? Would it have been better if it was Krampus, just brother
Well, no,
versus brother?
if you're gonna play Krampus as like Krampus and Belschnickel, like let's go. But you could do Grilla. It's I guess it's fine, but I just never heard of him or her.
Yeah. I mean, I heard very briefly, but yeah, not. You're right. I mean, that's something where it could have been. They could have done a nice little montage of who she was and why she's so menacing.
Yeah, tell me what she could hear me say her name.
Yeah. She
What?
has a knack for eating children. That would have been like the number one thing. Like, yeah, yeah, she used to be partners with Santa, and then she started realizing that kids were being bad, and then she ate them. that's why Santa cut ties with her. That would have been like really cool. Very much like, him and his brother. But yeah, okay, fair enough. That I mean, that's fair. That's fair that because a lot of people weren't necessarily aware of that, or at least maybe it's just a few of the American population that don't know about that, or maybe a majority. But um, my Martha moment was Nick Kroll. I just the scene specifically when he gets possessed by Grilla, fucking hated it. Like I hated his nonsensical, like just villain projection. That I was like, this is stupid. They should have just had her talking and like he's moving his mouth and it's in her voice. I just thought his voice was just so it was too over the top for me. I was like, oh shit. I was hoping he's gonna do something funny and now he's just doing this awful impression. So that's my Martha moment. I was like shaking my head like this fucking stupid. This is just dumb. Like why Nick Kroll? Like I like you. Why couldn't you have done something better here? Why couldn't something else have happened in terms of the voice projection of it? But yeah, that's that's my Martha moment.
I can see you disliking Nick Kroll. Like that is not a jump for me. And we're all allowed.
I like him. He's
Everybody's
funny.
got a flavor.
Big mouth, hilarious. It's one of the funniest cartoons I've ever seen. But yeah, this just didn't work for me. But I think that was pretty much it out of the movie, like in terms of Martha moments. So we talked a lot about the movie. Anything else you want to dive into, or do you want to get to that important
No,
question?
let's get to it, man. Let's get to it.
All
You
all
know
right,
what?
Mark.
Let's change it up for Christmas. I'm gonna ask you, Dan,
what are you gonna ask me? What?
because you've
What's it?
seen this movie more than me. I'm gonna ask you, when it comes to Red One, is this movie going into your Christmas rotation? Can you do this all day?
So it's an interesting one. After the first time I saw it, I enjoyed it. I had a good time. I had no interest in rewatching it when it got to Prime Video, and even when we were talking about doing this for the podcast, I was just like, yeah, okay, all right. I mean, I watched it already, so that's kind of easy work for me. So I wasn't excited. I really wasn't excited. After watching it today, that I did watch it today, I had a good time rewatching it. And I picked up on a few different things on it, like number one, the Chris Morgan production. So I kind of chuckled to myself on that. But there's a few things that I picked up on that were really nice, like the Rock and J.K. Simmons in the weight room scene. Like that was a good acting scene. I thought exactly or very similar as to what you were thinking. Is like, wow, he's doing some excellent acting right here. So um, I did dislike Evans's character and his portrayal, not like grossly, but at the same time, it wasn't like my favorite Evans character at all. Wasn't wild about his accents or anything like that. So it was just like, yeah, yeah. But there's a lot of fun moments in this movie. So I think from that perspective, along with the fact that they were playing a bunch of Christmas bangers in this movie, it was fun. It made me get into the Christmas mood. And maybe it's just the way that I am this year. I'm a little bit more festive this year. I'm wanting to have some Christmas fun. And I had some Christmas fun. And it wasn't even with the family. It was just me, myself, and I watching this. So, yes, I can do this all day. It was close though. It was very, very close to it. If you asked me last year, we recorded this last year, I would have said I couldn't. But no, I can definitely do this all day now. What about you, Mark? When it comes to huh, the excuse me, the movie that we just watched and talked about for the past hour, can you do this all day?
You know, I have a long list of Christmas movies that I watch every year, right? From Die Hard to Gremlins to Lethal Weapon to Trading Places, and all of the rest. And it's hard to get on that list. It is. So uh, um I look back over the last decade and see a lot of movies that miss the mark for me. I haven't even gotten into Christmas Chronicles that much. 8-Bit Christmas is not a rewatch for me. Hot Frosty, not a thing that I will revisit. But when it comes to this movie, I think it is one of the few Christmas movies over the last 10 years that stands up to my sensibilities and is actually a good watch and would be a good rewatch. And it absolutely is something I can do all day because I mean, in the end, all you want is, something that you can enjoy and find some funny moments in, but that doesn't make you want to claw your eyes out during the slow moments. And I think this movie absolutely does that.
Fair enough. And that's what we think, and we're sticking to it. So that wraps up our Christmas episode for the I Can Do This All Day podcast. We hope you spend your time with some loved ones out there. But until next time, I'm Dan, the Part-Time Avenger. That's Mark, the Resident Jedi.
Don't forget, like, subscribe, get ready for 2026 on the I Can Do This All Day podcast at I Can Do This All Day pod on all your social medias. Give us a 5-star review for Christmas and subscribe. You can download, you don't have to listen. It's cool. We understand. But yeah, I mean, have a great holiday. And remember, be admirable, not impish. That's what Belschnickel would say.
We'll see you next time, everyone. Merry Christmas.